right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, ahchyam, Yahweh Shai, ahchyam Rakadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect of the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, ahchyam, Yahweh Shai. And the Lord has sent me out here once again to prophesy against this country known as Babylon in the Holy Scriptures, and to let our people know that if you don't repent, you're going to be destroyed in your wickedness. Because there's a lot happening around the world right now. The prophecies are literally jumping out of the books. And if you've been paying close to the news, you can clearly see that this Bible is living and it is speaking. Okay, so there's a lot of things I would like to touch upon. So I'm gonna start with the book of Matthew. Let's go there first. This is the book of Matthew. And I'm gonna just flow with the spirit, man, because inevitably I'm gonna end up touching them all anyway. Matthew chapter 24, verse 1. And Yahweh Shai went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, see ye not all these things? Yeah, if you look all around you, one day it's all going to be missile food, because these countries are going to shoot their intercontinental ballistic missiles on this wicked country known as Babylon in the Holy Scriptures. See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as Yahweh Shai sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Now, when it says the end of the world, that's not talking about the whole earth is going to blow up, okay? The earth is eternal. The sun is eternal. The fire is not going to go out on the sun like the so-called white man tells you on his TV. One day from now, after about 1 million years, the fire will die out on the sun and the whole earth will enter an ice age. Don't believe that garbage, okay? Okay, that's bullshit. Okay? The Holy Scriptures tell you that the earth abideth forever. And I'm going to just prove it real quick. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 4. It says, one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. So the earth is eternal. The earth ain't going nowhere. When it says the end of the world, you see, that's why our apostles always tell us to look up words, man. Because the Holy Scriptures in past times was written in the Paleo Hebrew as well as the Greek. So in order to properly understand the words, you have to go back to the past words that the book was written in. When you look up that word world, okay, when you look up that word world, it goes back to the Greek word aion, which means an age. So the end of the world is actually talking about the end of an age. And that's exactly what we're entering into. We are entering in, and we are entering into the end of Esau's age. Okay, and just real quick, I'm gonna bring this out in 2nd Esdras, just to further expound upon that. Okay, 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. Okay, 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting sunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? Okay, verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, born of Isaac, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And Jacob's hand holding Esau's heel, it was not just a literal thing, but it was also a spiritual, a metaphor thing. Because because Jacob is going to bring Esau down. But that's going to start with when our Lord and Savior, Yahushua, returns. When Yahushua returns, that's when Jacob is going to pull this wicked, red, hairy-ass bastard out of power. Okay? And they're going head first into slavery. For Esau is the end of the world. Did you see? So that proves that it's not talking about the planet blown up. Okay? Even if a meteorite did hit the earth ain't going nowhere. Okay, come on. This country is going to be hit with 200 million nuclear missiles. You think one meteorite is going to destroy the whole earth? Like, come on, man. For Esau is the end of the world, the end of an age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that all starts with when Yahushua makes his grand return in what the world calls a UFO. He's going to be in the biggest UFO out of all of them. And when Yahushua returns, he's not coming back alone. He's coming back along with Michael the archangel as well. Daniel chapter 12 verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. So it's going to get so bad out here that Michael is literally going to have to come back and protect the Lord's elect. Because it's going to get that terrible out here, man. Okay? According to prophecies in the Holy Scriptures, people are going to be dying left and right. Martial law, famine, disease warfare, race wars, people being kidnapped and cannibalized, people being beheaded in concentration camps, people is going to be getting mauled to death by animals, people is going to be breaking into other people's houses with guns on them, just to scavenge for food. So it's going to get terrible. It's going to get even worse than that. In 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 5, it tells you that this country, the new Egypt, is going to be hit with the same plagues that ancient Egypt was hit with. Now they're already talking about summer blackouts, which could possibly start next month. Next month is only around the corner. Okay, they're also talking about how it can also start in July. Okay, so they're already talking about summer blackouts. Okay, and you must read the account of Wisdom of Solomon, the 17th chapter, where the things that the Egyptians were going through when the Lord had plagued ancient Egypt with gross darkness. Darkness that was so thick you could feel it. Okay? So imagine this country being hit with that same kind of darkness. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, Jacob's trouble. And the reason why it's called Jacob's trouble, because that's going to be the time where the Lord is going to really judge our people according to their works. Okay? And a matter of fact, this is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahushua HaMashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether if he be good or bad. So if you're still smoking, if you're going to get the jump shot, if you take the chip, okay, if you've been a gangbanger your whole life, if you committed murder, you are dishonoring your parents, being disobedient to your spiritual parents, as well as your literal parents. You're just being a straight nigga. You're getting tattoos. You a man with long ass hair. You doing drugs. You're selling drugs, which is witchcraft. Well, guess what? You're gonna have the answer for that. But before the judgment seat of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And yeah, it's talking about you standing literally before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to be judged. But that's also talking about your works being brought before the judgment seat of Yahushai. Because based on your works will determine what the Lord is going to do to you. says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahushua HaMashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad, whether it be good or bad. This also applies to you women, okay? You women are not off the hook, okay? There's a lot of women amongst our nation that are extremely wicked. So the Lord is going to judge them too, okay? So Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the prince that standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, Jacob's trouble, such as was never such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Okay, hold on. And at that time, thy people, the elect, the 1/3, shall be delivered. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. But what book? The book of life. Okay, the book of life. So if you're of the elect, your name is written in the book of life. You're going to receive salvation. The Lord is going to deliver you. So this is back in Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Why? For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. And we have many examples of that. IUIC, ISUPK, FOPI, HOI, the House of Israel, HOJ, the House of Jacob, HODC, the House of David Church, GOCC, the Sakari, okay, Sakari, can't forget about them. And you know what? They are purposely misleading their congregations. Why? They're doing it for filthy lucre's sake. Okay. Oh no. You know what? Let's go to Isaiah. Okay, this is the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 20. No, Isaiah chapter 9. Okay, the book of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people caused them to err. Right. If you telling our people it's okay to take the jump shot, you have led them to error. Okay, you leading them right to destruction. You telling our people you got to be a fool not to take the chip. Everybody's got to eat. Isn't that what you said, General Yohana? So you're going to be judged based on the things you say, man. Okay, and the matter of fact, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 12. Okay, the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. So that's why it's important to watch what you say to your congregation, man. You can't be telling our people to take the jump shot, especially knowing how dangerous that shit is, man. You know, because that's going way off. So every idle word that you say, you're gonna have to give account for those words in the day of judgment. And and when I tell you we're entering the time of judgment, we're literally entering the time of judgment. You know, you false Israelite groups out there, you're laying back on your leisure time, acting like nothing is about to go down. But we got this whole situation with Russia and Ukraine. Okay, they're talking about a global famine, a global food catastrophe. Why is there a food crisis going on in so many countries? Shouldn't you be talking about that? There's a food crisis going on in India. Okay, the people in Ukraine are going through a famine right now. Food prices are skyrocketing all around the country. How come people keep reporting of empty food shelves at these grocery stores? These are things you false Israelite groups should be talking about, but you're not talking about them. Why? You're teaching things that you ought not for filthy lucre's sake. You want to keep your congregation in the dark so you can continue to get that grain, man. Okay? Okay? But what did the scripture say? The scripture said, buy the truth and sell it not. You see? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Yeah, you know, how come you're not teaching the congregation the true names of the Heavenly Father and the Son? You even got some idiots out there who say that nobody is going to know the name of the Lord until Yahweh shall come back. Then we're going to know the name. That's going way off, man. Okay, this is the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. What does that indicate? We're going to know the names, the elect, whosoever they may be out there, they're going to know the names of the Heavenly Father and His Son before Yahweh Shai returns. In order for the elect to receive salvation, they got to call on those names. Okay? The names of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai should be being pushed heavily in the earth right now. But here it is. You got one group calling on the Most High and Christ blessed, when those are no more than titles. You got another group calling on Yahuwah, Yeshua. You got another group calling on ahchyam Ba'Shem Yeshaya. What? But you know what? That's because the Lord have hid His true name from you. The Lord did not want scum like you to know His precious name. Okay? Because really the names of Yahweh Yahushai, those names are precious. Okay? It's a privilege to call on those names. So you false Israelite groups keep playing stupid, man. Because the Lord got a death angel hovering right above you right now, waiting for the okay to go. So back in Matthew, chapter 24, Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. We're hearing of wars and rumors of wars all over the place. We're hearing of the U.S. getting ready to send more heavy artillery, more heavy weaponry to Ukraine. We're hearing about NATO doing drills in the Baltic Sea. We're hearing about the United States sending warships over to the artificial islands of Taiwan. Okay, we heard about China, who was attempting to invade Japan until the United States intervened with their warship. Okay, we're hearing more and more news about the whole Russia-Ukraine crisis. You know, there's rumors of wars everywhere. Okay, the so-called Israelis and the United States, they are conducting joint exercises because they're getting ready to make their move on Iran. Excuse me. Okay. So there's all kind of wars and rumors of wars going on all over the place. Okay, China making death threats to the United States. North Korea is constantly test firing intercontinental ballistic missiles. So all these drills and routine practices and military exercises going on, what is that? That is a prophecy, okay? That is prophecy according to the Holy Scripture. So this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. The Gentiles of Joel 3, verse 9 is talking about the Arabs, who are the biblical Ishmaelites. It's talking about the East Indians, who are the biblical Elamites. It's talking about the Africans, who are the biblical Hamites. It's talking about the Hawaiians and the Samoans, which are the biblical Japhites. It's talking about so-called white Americans, those fake so-called Jews in the land of Israel. Okay, it's talking about so-called white Russians, so-called white Australians, so-called white Europeans, which are the biblical Edomites. Okay, the Gentiles of Joel 3 and 9 is also talking about the Chinese people and the North Koreans and the South Koreans, which are the biblical Moabites. The Japanese people are the biblical Ammonites. These are your Gentiles of Joel 3 verse 9. A Gentile is anybody who is not an Israelite. In Joel 3 verse 9. So proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. That's why we're out here on the highways and hedges. We're proclaiming this to the heathen nations. But what are we proclaiming? We're not only proclaiming prophecy, but we're also proclaiming their judgment. Because the Lord said that he's going to judge them over there in the Middle East. Excuse me. The hell they be spraying up in the air nowadays. So proclaim ye this among the Gentiles in Joel 3 verse 9. Prepare war. Isn't that not what we're seeing? They're doing military drills, conducting military exercises, test firing intercontinental ballistic missiles, China doing drills, NATO and the United States doing routine war drills in the Baltic Sea. Even Russia's conducting military exercises because ultimately they're getting ready for war. But what kind of war? World War III. Okay? They're all getting ready for World War III. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past. Now, the word woe goes back to the Hebrew word abadium, which means destruction. Because that's all these wars bring. These wars bring nothing but destruction. The most destructive war that's ever happened on this planet was World War II. Okay? Where all kind of missiles were shot, the planes were shot out the sky, crashing and burning, people getting blown up by grenades, by rocket-propelled grenade launchers, which is an RPG. Okay, and then we can't forget about how the United States of America dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Skinny boy and fat boy, the two most destructive weapons at that time during World War II. Okay, World War I, same thing, a very destructive war. The only difference between World War I and World War II was that World War II was a more destructive war than World War I. You see? So the most destructive war that's going to happen on the planet is World War III. Because this country is literally going to be hit with 200 million of missiles, okay? People is going to be seeing all kinds of nuclear warheads falling out the sky. Okay? So behold, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the third woe is what? World War III. Now back in Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Draw near to where? The Middle East. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which Jehoshaphat goes back to the Hebrew word Yahweh Shaphat, which means Yahweh's the judge. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Right, because the Lord is going to judge all those heathens over there in the Middle East. Especially for what they did to the nation of Israel. Because the scriptures tell you, he that toucheth you Israelites have touched the apple of the Lord's eye. So what do you think the Lord is going to do to those that touch the apple of his eye? Because the Lord is going to put them to death. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the world, it says the world and all things that come forth of it. The world is talking about the people here on the planet. That also includes the 2/3 of our people, because they got to get their judgment. Verse 2. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Okay? So the Lord, he's gonna deliver these heathens to the slaughter. That also includes the 2/3 of our people that have joined America's military. Okay? You've only joined America's military only to go right to your destruction. And you already know they're gonna put you Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians, they're gonna put you right on the front lines in these coming wars. You're gonna be right there on the front lines, getting blown to pieces. Your body's gonna be riddled with bullets. And I mean, of course, we don't want to see our people go through that. But hey, 2/3 of our people got to get their judgment. Okay, especially for all those times when you've murdered the Lord's prophets in the past, especially the main judge and main prophet, Yahweh, when you had him crucified to the Romans, starting with Pilate. So you got to receive your judgment for that. One moment. What the fuck? What's the point of having an engine what's the point of having a muffler like that, man? This country is nothing but noise and chaos. Like, in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to know what true quietness is. We're going to know what true silence is in the kingdom. You're not going to be, sleeping in the kingdom and all of a sudden you hear a loud-ass motor, from a motorcycle or some shit going off. Waking you up in the palace and shit. No. When we wake up in the kingdom of heaven, it's going to be pure quiet. Man, we going to praise Yahweh Shai when we wake up, man. We going to praise him for the silence and everything. It don't make no sense to have a muffler that goddamn loud, man. Our people are... But speaking on the 2/3, that's why the 2/3 got to get their judgment, man. Stupid little shit like that. But Isaiah 34, verse 2. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. Who's the them? The 2/3 of our people, as well as the heathen nations. Their slain shall be cast out. When it says their slain shall be cast out, that's talking about guts, intestines, stomach, bone, marrow, all pouring out of your stomach. You know how like when somebody gets riddled with bullets, all their intestines and their insides come out? Yeah, so the slain is going to be cast out, man. Because it's going to be one big bloodbath over there in the Middle East. Their slain shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. Right, because it only takes about, 3 to 4 days for a corpse to start rotting and for a corpse to start stinking. So it's going to reek of death over there in the Middle East. There's going to be so many dead bodies. Who's going to be burying dead bodies over there right in the middle of a war? Ain't nobody going to be burying no dead bodies during a war. So there's going to be all kind of corpses laying around on the ground. Okay, like the apostles say, man, dead bodies is going to become the new streets. Okay, it's going to become the new sidewalk. You're going to, especially here in America, when martial law starts killing our people, there's going to be so many dead bodies. We're literally going to have to hopscotch over them. Like we're going to have to hopscotch over dead bodies. Okay, they're going to be everywhere. There might be a fat person laying on the ground, all fucked up and shit. You might have to take one big ass leap over him. But over there in the Middle East, though, it's going to get bad, man. It's going to get bad, I'm telling you. World War III, man, it's going to be something serious. Okay, it says, the snakes shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Now, when it says the heavens, that's talking about here on earth, okay? Now, I'm pretty sure you've heard this saying before, especially when you was in the world, okay? The white man's heaven is the black man's hell. Well, this is the so-called white man's heaven, okay? The fact that this man is in his rulership, he got the best parts of the earth. He's living it up. They get to drink blood and do all kind of satanic shit. That means they in their rulership. So E is in heaven right now. Esau's in heaven. So this heaven is going to be destroyed, along with those gutter rats over there in the land of Israel, calling themselves Israelis. Okay, the Lord is going to put the spirit on Iran to shoot intercontinental ballistic missiles on the land of Israel. Okay. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Because that's what a mushroom cloud from a nuclear missile look like. When a nuclear missile explodes, okay, the mushroom cloud literally expands throughout the sky. And it literally looks like a circular scroll, scrolling outwards. So that's what a mushroom cloud look like. Now, bombs, missiles, none of those things existed during Isaiah's time. So, like, picture yourself being as Isaiah, right? How would you describe an intercontinental ballistic missile? You would describe it as an arrow, right? You would describe the explosion as some kind of mushroom cloud. So this also leads me to believe that when Isaiah saw this vision, he was probably up in the sky somewhere. Okay? He probably saw nuclear explosions from the sky or something in his vision. I'm not saying that's what happened, but he described that nuclear explosion pretty damn good to the best of his ability. Okay? It says, all the hosts of heaven, it says, in the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Yeah, that's talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles. Because when intercontinental ballistic missile is shot off, the first thing it does is what? It goes up into the sky, and then it goes up into so-called space within the ozone layer of the earth. It travels around the globe to the designated targeted areas, and then once it reaches its targeted area, the intercontinental ballistic missile falls down, and then the cap to the warhead, the cap to the missile comes off, and multiple nuclear warheads basically rain out from the intercontinental ballistic missile, spreading out to each of their own respective targeted areas. Okay, so it says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea." Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. "And upon my people, and upon the people of my curse the judgment." Right, because at the end of the day, so-called white people, the biblical Edomites, they're cursed. Okay? The fact that they was born without any pigmentation shows you how cursed they are. Okay? The sun hates them, the earth hates them, the insects hate them, the animals hate them. You know, they're literally the people of the Lord's curse. And that curse really goes way back to Cain in the Garden of Eden when he murdered his brother Abel. Okay? Verse 6. "The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness and with the blood of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." So back in Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation." Okay, that's talking about the race wars. "And kingdom against kingdom." Right, we got the kingdom of NATO rising up against the kingdom of Russia. We got the kingdom of the United States rising up against the kingdom of Russia. We got the kingdom of Ukraine going up against the kingdom of Russia. We got the kingdom of China rising up against the kingdom of Japan. The kingdom of North Korea rising up against the kingdom of South Korea. So there's all kind of kingdoms rising up against each other. "And there shall be famines." There is a famine that is systematically being created around the globe even as I speak. And what do I mean by systematically being induced? Meaning this famine is being created by the government. Okay? They're purposely going around burning down food corporations. Your potato chip factory, you know, your meat chopping factories. You know, Bill Gates is buying up all these farmlands. Farmers are being put out of business. Farmers are being paid to kill tens of thousands of chickens, turkeys. Okay, they're killing off cows. Okay, all these foods that are deemed lawful and clean to eat in the Holy Scriptures are being killed off. Under a false impression that there's a bird flu going around. So long. You probably didn't recognize it. You know, under the false impression that there's a famine going on. Where do you get that from? I want one of those. But yeah, man. Yeah, basically they're saying there's a bird flu going around. That's some bullshit, man. Since when did birds get flus, man? Okay? There was no such thing as no bird flu back in the ancient world. That sounds like some shit that they came up with. Just so farmers could be justified in killing off their chickens. You see? So a famine is being systematically induced around the globe. Chickens are just dying off by the tens of thousands. You know, same thing happening with cows. You know? Man, you know, all these farmlands are being bought up by Bill Gates. Farmers being paid to kill off their chickens. Farmers being paid to destroy their crops. And then not only that, but not only that, but damn man, I lost my train of thought. Well, I mean, it's whatever. The message is pretty much there, you know. But then on top of that, food prices are going up. Oh, and the rate at which people are shoplifting, that's skyrocketing right now. There's a lot of people that are shoplifting because of unaffordable food prices. Now, we know that a grocery store can only carry up to 3 to 4 days worth of food. So if people keep shoplifting like the way they are, what do you think is going to happen? Eventually, that's going to lead to a major food shortage in these grocery stores. And just like that, people's going to start panicking. They're going to start stampeding these grocery stores, stealing carts after carts full of groceries. Okay? So it says, and there shall be famines and pestilences. Yeah, the new thing now is this whole monkeypox scheme. Okay, this ought to be interesting. First it was Ebola. Now it's the Crown Royale 19. Now it's monkeypox. No, ooh, monkeypox. Hey, watch out, man. The devil is mad. He mad because his kingdom is going down. So the new pestilence now is monkeypox. Come on, man. Come on, Esau. Okay? And earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay? Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Okay, and yeah, that's going to happen, you know. Some of us is going to have to stand before kings and judges, you know. We already, you know, I mean, we don't know what they're going to ask us exactly. But hey, man, we're going to give them the straight truth, you know. Like, hey, look, man, you're the biblical Edomites, you know. Your kingdom is destined to fall. And when our Lord and Savior returns, he's going to put his foot in y'all ass. End of story. So hurry up. Lock my ass up. Okay? And fuck you, Esau. Okay? Because some of us are going to be afflicted. But what did Yahushua say? Let's get it. This is the book of Revelation. Chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, because wisdom maketh a man's face to shine. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Now, is that talking about the spiritual demon Satan is going to be teleporting from house to house, throwing certain of us in prison? No. The devil's talking about an actual man here on the planet. Furthermore, when you look up the word devil, it goes back to the Greek word diabolos, also the Latin word diabolus, which means a deceiver, or pertaining to a man by whom opposing the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So the devil's talking about an actual man on the planet. It's talking about the so-called white man. That's the devil, okay? And through his martial law troops, some of us is going to be thrown into concentration camps. That's what the prisons are talking about. The prisons are talking about concentration camps, FEMA camps, which are full of what? Guillotines. Some of us are going to have some of our heads will be chopped off in these concentration camps. Okay? So Yahushua said, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Okay? So, Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. The number 10 is just a number representing completion. Okay, so for a complete amount of days, we're going to be going through tribulations and trials in these concentration camps. You know, so the longest you might be in a concentration camp might be for 3 days. You know, you might be in a concentration camp for 2 weeks. You might be in a concentration camp for a whole month. Okay? But let's see what else Yahweh Shai had to say. Okay? It says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So Yahweh Shai said, be faithful unto death, and he will give you a crown of life. So we are commanded to be faithful all the way till our death, man. You know? Even if we have to die for this truth, you know? You know, I mean, Yahweh Shai, you know, Lord's will, the Lord give us, you know, the strength to go through that beheading. But you know what, though? There's a reward for being beheaded, you know? Our death, you know, if some of us, you know, some of us will have to die in these concentration camps, but guess what? The Lord said that our death is not going to be in vain. Lord's will, if we're of the elect, our death is not going to be in vain. Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. Right, because like I said earlier, some of us is going to have to stand before kings and judges, you know, to answer before them. Even though the words that we're going to speak in that day, that's not going to be our words. That's going to be the Heavenly Father through His Son speaking through us. You know, Lord's will, we be of the elect. You know, always got to be humble and say Lord's will. Okay? Okay, I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them, the Lord's elect, that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. Did you hear that, IUIC? So much for trying to be a smart ass, because you said, well, what if I don't want to get it in my right hand? What if I want to get it in my left one? Well, it says here that their hands. So, hey, you can get the chip in your left butt cheek. The Lord is still going to turn your ass into missile food if you take the chip. Okay? It says, nor have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai HaMashiach 1,000 years. Right, because during that 1,000-year period, what's going to be going on? Slavery. Because we're going to have you heathens, starting with the so-called white man, as slaves in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? And the matter of fact, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. Now that word hear there is actually, goes back to the Hebrew word shamai, which means to listen. Because there's a difference between hearing and listening. When you're hearing something, you're basically just hearing sounds, but you're not paying attention to what you're hearing. When you're listening, you're actually paying attention to what is being said, or you're paying attention to what you're hearing. So hearing and listening are two different things. So, you know, everybody got ears, but not everybody have ears to listen. Okay? That goes for the 2/3 of our people. And 2/3 of our people, they don't have ears to listen. The Lord had put a spiritual block on their mind. You can read that in the book of Romans 11, verse 7 down to 9. So Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Woo! The water Yahweh ahchyam Yahweh Shai. The Lord is going to give us recompense. Okay? So our death is not going to go in vain. Okay? Starting with the so-called white man, the so-called elites, all you members of the Illuminati, you different leaders and presidents of these other countries, you're gonna be the first fruits to go into slavery. You're gonna be our slaves in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? I'll tell you this much. Lord's will, if I'm of the elect, I ain't lifting a damn finger. I ain't lifting one single finger. Okay? I better not have to get up off my chair to do something, or one of my slaves is gonna get their ass beat. Okay? I'm dead ass serious. I'll put a fucking blindfold around my head, and then I'll randomly pick out a slave to beat the shit out of. Yeah, let me have to get up off my chair to do something. One of my slaves getting fucked up that very same hour. I mean, Lord's will, I'm of the elect. Okay? So, the book of Matthew, back in the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24, verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. So even in that day, you know, when shit starts getting real, you know, you're gonna have these false leaders, these false pastors, you know they're gonna put some smooth-faced, bald-headed, black-ass coon on TV talking about everybody stay calm, you know. In the name of God, everything will be okay. Ain't nobody gonna listen to your ass, man. Ain't nobody gonna listen to you. You're just a false leader that's gonna deceive many. Okay, General Yohana already deceiving many. All you false Israelite groups are deceiving many. Now remember, I read that in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10. You're gonna have to answer for misleading your congregation. You're gonna have to answer to the Lord for that. Okay? But then you start to understand why the Lord is so angry with our people. Jeremiah 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastors, save the Lord. Right. And you're especially destroying your congregation when you're pushing them false names out there. Jehovah, Yahuwah, Yahushua, Yehudi. Yo, Hawashua. What the fuck is a Yahweh? No, what the fuck is a Salachya? Slip of the tongue, not of the heart. What the fuck is a Yahweh Shawai? Hey, I've heard some crazy shit before, but that's amongst the most craziest shit I heard. I heard somebody say that before. Talking about some Yahweh Shawai. Yahweh Shawai. What is a Yahweh Shawai? Really? Yahweh Shawai? You can't just say Yahweh Shai? You can't just say Yahweh? Okay? The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shai. Okay? And it tells you that in the Holy Scriptures. I believe that's in Exodus, the 3rd chapter. The Lord clearly gave his name to Moses. And if you're spiritual enough, you'll be able to see it. The Lord told Moses, I am that I am have sent you. Okay? When you translate that to Hebrew, it's he is. Moses did not go to the congregation of Israel talking about I am have sent me. They'd be looking at Moses like he was on crack or something. Wait, you mean telling me this man sent himself? No. Moses said he is in the Hebrew. How do you say he is in the Hebrew? It's Yahweh. Yah, he, Hawa exists. He is. Okay? He is. Yahweh. Okay? That's a beautiful name, man. That's a beautiful name. Yahweh Shai is a beautiful name. Yahweh Shai is coming back to do what? To deliver his elect men. Okay? So Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastors, save the Lord. Therefore, thus save the Lord, Yahweh, ahchyam, Yahweh Shai, the power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, Now, is it talking about, you handing out, bologna sandwiches to your congregation? You all sit at some big round table, you're licking your fingers, you're eating fries, people's eating ribs and shit. That's not what it's talking about. When it says feed the Lord's people, that's talking about feeding them spiritually, feeding them with the Holy Scriptures. Okay, that's talking about teaching the Lord's people. So all of you pastors and you preachers out there that call yourself teaching the Lord's congregation, but you're misleading them, the Lord's got your number, man. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and have driven them away and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four quarters of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. With that, I'm going to say Shalom is on to the next one. DTA Abad Babal. Oh, nope, wait a minute. I still got some time left. Salachya. I still got some time left on there. All right, so I'm actually going to continue then. Let's continue. I'm going to go to the book of 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter this time, okay? Oh, man. I don't know if I should start with... I think I'll just get 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter next. So 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1. He, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Right. Measure the time diligently in itself. What time are we living in? We're about to enter into the time of Jacob's trouble with these summer blackouts, there's a mass gun sale going on. People buying guns left or right. All these different school shootings. And it's all being done for the purpose of what? Because ultimately, they want to target us. Now, the brother Yashawamba, he did a video on how basically rap music is being blamed for these mass shootings. But wait a minute, what about country music? What about country music that promotes suicide? What about country music that promotes killing other people? There's all kind of country music out there that promotes people wanting to commit suicide. All they talk about is depressing shit, and I don't even listen to country music, man. It's boring. Okay? But they got the nerve to blame rap music for these mass shootings. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, our people is to blame for that. But hold on, though. Who has control? Who has control over all these different rap label companies? Who has control over these different rap label companies? The so-called Judo, man, Amalek, okay? And the only way our people can sell a record label is if they talk about some BS in their rap music. Why is that? Why is it that
brother. That's good, bro.
All right, man. Why is it that every time we listen to rap music, it's always about murder, sex, drugs, women? And nowadays, a lot of these rap musics start to sound the same. Here it is, you just finished listening to a rap song about murder, death, drugs, hoes, clothes. Then the next song comes on, and it might have a different beat to it, but it sounds just like the same shit you previously heard. That's because it was done by design, you see. Our music has been weaponized. Okay? Our music's been weaponized. It's been used to turn our people into a bunch of murderous, crazed, killing machines. So hey, it's time for the earth to be under new management, man, because this kingdom sucks. You know, me preferably, I like listening to orchestrated music, instrumentals. You know, I could deal with instrumentals, but I can't deal with rap music that's always talking about murder and hate. You pushing a violent vibration on our people. But you see, we're talking about the devil here. You know, here it is. He has control over the music industry, but rap music is to blame for these mass shootings? Come on, E. Stop it, man. Stop it. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And guess what? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is visiting the world. Okay? Yahushai is not going to just manifest himself. No. The Lord is going to visit the earth through prophecies. Okay? As a matter of fact, that's the spirit. Let me get that in Revelation real quick. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren, that have the testimony of Yahushai, Hamashiach. Worship Yahweh for the testimony, worship Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, for the testimony of Yahushai is what? The spirit of prophecy. So the Lord is visiting the earth right now through the prophecies that are written in the book. All these mass shootings, it was prophesied to happen in the Bible. Okay? Did not the Lord say that he was going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians? What are we seeing on the news? We're seeing a modern day Egyptian, a so-called white person, that's going around shooting up other so-called white people. So the Lord is setting the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So there's nothing new under the sun, man. You know? Okay, so the Lord is visiting the earth right now. Through what? Through prophecy. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, there's riots and protests everywhere. Okay, down there in what is it? I think it's Europe. It might be Spain, but down there the protests have gotten so violent. The protests have gotten so violent down there in Europe that the martial law troops was literally killing some of those protesters with live ammunition rounds. So they were shooting live ammunition bullets, killing off some of those protesters. You know, we can't forget about the protests that took place in Canada. Truckers went on strike. You know, people protesting over gas price spikes. People protesting in India. People protesting in Syria. You know, people protesting in China over these Crown Royal 19 laws. People was protesting in Canada. So there's uproars everywhere, man. Okay? It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. The end of what? the end of Esau's age, the end of the so-called white man's empire. The end of this man's empire is manifested. But how is it manifested? It is manifested through prophecy. Even so, hey man, I'm having fun doing this, man. You know, teaching out the Holy Scriptures, edifying the Lord's elect. I love it, man. Lord's will, the Lord keep that kind of spirit on me. Even so, of the times, also, the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works and endings in effects and signs. Oh, wait a minute. Down there at Shanghai, China, their sky was literally blood red. But shortly after that, what happened? Their rivers turned to blood. Their rivers became as blood. Okay? That's a part of the endings and effects. People's recording the moon and people seeing rings around the moon. Some people have even reported the sun. There was a ring around the sun. You know? Now, oh yeah, the brother Manak the Zogba from China, he did a YouTube video. He did a YouTube video where there was a mass lightning storm that was going on.
I'm following you. Go ahead.
In a video that the brother Manak Zogba did from South Carolina, there was a video on YouTube of a mass lightning storm that was going on. Okay, just lightning just flashing everywhere, man. You know, that looked terrifying as fuck, man. Could you imagine being outside and there's just lightning striking everywhere? You know, the Lord is terrible though, man. The Lord is terrible like that. So it says in endings, in effects, and signs. Excuse me. Verse 7, and everyone that shall be saved, that is of the elect, and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, because like Yahushua said in the book of Matthew, he said, there be some standing here that shall not taste the death until they see the Son of Man coming in his glory. So there are men that are of the elect that's going to be alive until Yahushua returns. And everyone that shall be saved and shall escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Okay? So in order to be of the elect, you have to be chosen from the very beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case. Who's going to be in pitiful case? The 2/3 of our people. And that's really starting with you false Israelite groups out there, and you false pastors, and you false preachers. Okay? IUIC, ISUPK, GOCC, HODC, HOI, HOJ, FOPI, Sakari, you're going to be in pitiful case. Why? For they have abused our. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, right? Because you've used the word of Yahweh, which is Yahushai. You've used the word of Yahweh, which is Yahushai, in order to get a filthy lucre gain. Okay? You use the word of Yahweh, which is Yahushai, to get, you know, to get dirty money. And you think the Lord is happy with that? Hell no, he ain't happy with that. Okay? Psalms chapter 7, verse 11. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai is angry with the wicked every day. The wicked also includes the 2/3 of our people, not just the so-called white man, even though the wicked is mainly talking about him. But what did Yahushua say in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44? He said, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do." Okay? So 2/3 of our people are of their father the devil. That's why they smoking like him. They getting tattoos like him. They getting edge-ups like him. Because they are of their father the devil, man. Okay? So it says, "Then shall they be in pitiful case, you false Israelites out there, including you false pastors and you false preachers. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which have now abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments." So you false Israelite groups out there, you're going to dwell in torments. Okay? Torments. The Lord is going to torment you, man, mentally, spiritually, and physically. The Lord's going to put you false Israelite groups through some serious hell, man. Okay, tells you that in the book of Luke, the 12th chapter. "And he that knew his master's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes." So you false Israelite groups out there, you're going to get beaten with many stripes. Because you knew better. Here it is, you have the truth. You have the names of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, but you refuse to push those names. You refuse to teach our people the truth. So, the Lord is going to beat you with many stripes. Verse 10, "For such as in their life have received benefits of 501c3 charter, and have not known me. And they that have loathed my law, while they yet have liberty, when as yet a place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. Therefore, the same must know it after death by pain." Did you hear that? Trust me, man. It's a terrible thing to go out dying in an extremely painful way. A famine is one of those ways, okay? It tells you that in, I believe that's the book of Lamentations, the 5th chapter. "They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger." Because at least if you die from a gunshot wound, you die shortly after. But to die by starvation, that's a terrible way to go out. So, this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 1. "Behold, speak in the ears of my people the words of prophecy." And that's what we're doing. Why? Because the testimony of Yahweh, because the spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against it. Yeah, we don't care what you people think when you look at us. Some of y'all give us the death stare. You give us mean looks. I mean, as if you're trying to relay a message. Dad, I told your ass not to come out here again. Nigga, who the fuck are you? Okay? But anyways, fear not the imaginations against thee, like the Lord said in the book of Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. He have made our heads hard against their foreheads. Except the Lord made our head hard as flint. Okay? So in other words, man, you're not going to win against the Lord's prophets. Okay? It's Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai say so over the 2/3 of you people, the 2/3 of you Israelites say so. Who's going to win? Of course the Lord is going to win. Okay? Your arms are too short to box with the Heavenly Father. He'll one-hit KO your ass. Okay? It says, "Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Now I'm going to skip down to verse 14. Woe to the world. Actually, no, let me read verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. The what? The sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Yeah, man. Just look at what goes on around the globe, man. They got a pig city, Tel Aviv, over there in the land of Israel. Okay, the Lord's homeland. You think the Lord is happy with that? Hell no. Okay, you got people. Okay, our people's bugged out all over the place. Okay, murder is going on every day. Adultery is going on every day. You know, children are being molested. There's sodomites walking all over the place. Okay, there's a lot of proud women amongst our nation with their heads up in the clouds. Okay, committing adultery on their men while their men is at work. You know, there's all kind of human sacrifices that goes on. The food in your grocery stores is not even real. Okay, it tastes like shit. Okay, we're talking about genetically modified food. And speaking of GMO food, okay, on the back of the Snickers bar, on the back of the Snickers bar, right? They're clearly telling you that there is bioengineered ingredients in the Snickers bar. You know, when I read that shit, I was pissed off. I don't even eat Snickers no more because it has bioengineered ingredients in it. That shit pissed me off. Putting bioengineered ingredients in Snickers. You know, they're spraying all kind of chemicals in the air. You know, you don't even know what you're breathing in nowadays. They're spraying aluminum, barium, arsenic, mercury. Mercury is one of the metals that can get through your blood-brain barrier and affect your mind. That's why a lot of our people have autism. They have ADHD. They can't sit still. They don't know how to think. Some of our people are learning disabled. You know, our people is all strung out on drugs. They got mental issues because it's because of these damn chemicals they keep spraying in the air, man. You know, you don't even know what fresh air is. Okay, we was born in a society that was constantly being polluted by vehicles. We don't even know what real fresh air smell like because there's always a goddamn vehicle driving down the street polluting the fucking air, man. And then on top of that, you got airplanes polluting the air. So this whole world is just full of wickedness, man. People being kidnapped and tortured for the so-called elite's entertainment. You know, there's just the same things that was going on during the time of Noah. It's happening here. That's why, like Yahushua said in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, as in the days of Noah, I believe it's Matthew 24 verse 22, but don't quote me on it. But like Yahushua said, as in the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? Because what was going on during the time of Noah? Everything you see happening on the earth now. And now you start to understand why the Lord flooded the whole earth and only saved 8 souls. Noah, his 3 sons, Noah's wife, and Noah's sons' wives. They're the only ones who survived the flood, along with, a couple of animals after their kind. Okay, now I'm going to skip down to verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and the one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. The modern day sword is the gun, Okay? You can feel that a civil war could possibly break out here in America, well, especially with all these MK Ultra mass shootings going on. People calling for stricter gun control laws, which at the end of the day, I believe it was all a blood sacrifice. Shooting up all them children at their school. That must have been a blood sacrifice to the so-called elites. Because we know they're heavy into that shit. The Boston bombings, what was that? That was a fire sacrifice to their god Molech. Because these so-called elites, they worship these different deities that was around during the time of ancient Egypt. so because people are calling for stricter gun control laws, you know what's going to end up happening? The United States is going to end up sending the UN troops into these different houses just to forcibly confiscate people's guns. And when that happens, there's a lot of people here in America that's not going to go quietly. So you better best believe they're going to get their guns, and there's probably going to be a shootout. Okay? But on the other hand, when it says that one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands, that's also talking about the race wars first and foremost. Okay? Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. What is a sedition? A sedition is a rebellion or a uprising against the government. That's going to happen here in America. It's prophesied for it to happen. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because it's going to be the hour of martial law. And in the hour of martial law, which the word martial means war or warlike, in the hour of martial law, you know, the country basically becomes a battlefield. In the hour of martial law, the country becomes a battlefield. And you know what they say, you know what they say about the things that happen on the battlefield. Whatever happens on the battlefield stays on the battlefield. So there's going to be a lot of wicked shit going on in the hour of martial law. And you're not going to be able to just leave your city, okay? Because it's going to be blocked off by martial law troops. Barricades, spike strips, okay, FEMA trucks. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right, because during the time of a famine, there's going to be a lot of houses. People is going to be breaking into other people's houses with the gun on them, just so they can find some food. So it's going to get terrible out here, man. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, ahchyam, Yahweh Shai, ahchyam Rakakadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four quarters of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, ahchyam, Yahweh Shai. With that, I'm going to say Shalom. Is on to the next one. DTA Abad Babal.